Lushi is the first company to make it easier for women to freeze their eggs.
We are headed to an at-home concierge egg freezing appointment.
Lushi is a female-owned company for egg freezing and IVF that offers concierge services and at-home visits.
Hi, so nice to meet you.
This is a bit of a pivot for you. You started a PR company, you worked at one of the biggest hedge funds in the world, and then you decided that you wanted to start yet another company. What was the opportunity you saw?
Well, I think that women deserve a better experience. We're the first one where our injection specialist will go to you, and we provide a much more holistic approach.
Walk us through what is going on here, and then what the first injection is going to be like for Brittney.
So what we have set up here are 2 different medications that we're going to be talking through, and then also I'll be helping you go through the injections as well.
Perfect.
Both of these medications are basically going to help your ovaries start to produce as many eggs as possible, so that when we get to your retrieval day, we can get as many of those gorgeous eggs.
Fingers crossed.
So the first step in this whole process is we'll have her ice the areas that I'm going to be doing the injections. Ideally for a couple minutes, it really helps to numb the area. And then while you're doing that, I'm gonna set up the medications.
We think it's an $80 billion market. 1 in 4 women are infertile. And then there's all the women who are prioritizing their career, having children later. And the reality is if you're having kids in your 30s, it's much more challenging. And so we're encouraging all women to freeze their eggs as soon as possible. The highest quality is between 26 to 32.
All right, so now our injection is ready. How does that area feel? Pretty numb?
Pretty numb.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have you stand up. Perfect.
Healthcare has not been transformed for so long. If you think about something like WebMD, it hasn't been innovated on for 30 years. And so we've invested in the top engineering talent to really build a beautiful platform, a super luxury concierge service for women.
So I'm gonna load the dose for your next one. So take a nice deep breath in. Good.
At Bevel, you had to build a roster of clients, and you built a very impressive roster of clients, and now it sounds like you're able to sort of lean on them to fundraise as well.
I mean, I love building businesses. I love hiring top talent. And so with Lushi, we have our chief medical officer. She's a robotics OBGYN, and she's managing the team, the medical team. For the longest time, fertility companies have been created by doctors, not by marketers, brand builders, people who have access to this network of engineering talent and the top tech people, which I do from my experience with Bevel. And so we're able to bring a completely disruptive, approach.
It's so much medical technology is kind of in the 90s or like the early 2000s.
It's terrible.
How did that feel?
I mean, I was very, very nervous, but having you here and being able to go through that with someone like you made it very easy, very convenient, and like really brought me peace of mind that I needed going into this whole process.
I'm so happy to hear that.
It's interesting because I feel like we went through this period in medicine where it became very cold and clinical. It used to be doctors did make house calls, and we went away from that. Can we go back to that?
Well, so our model is more like Uber for nurses, and so we hire them per diem, and the economics make a lot of sense. But the women, so they come to your home, they'll administer the shots for you. When you do IVF or egg freezing, you have to mix the fertility drugs and then inject them into your stomach.
Potentially mix the wrong ratio of ingredients. That seems very complicated.
It's very complicated. You wouldn't go and get Botox and take the units and the syringes home and do it yourself, right? So I just don't understand why we've been treating women's bodies any differently.
Do you accept insurance? How much is that going to cost you out of pocket? And are you paying extra for that nurse to come to your house?
For the nurse to come to your house, we do a one-time fee, but it is covered by HSA savings account, which is tax-free. Everyone can put money into it. You can put $4,100 a year, and it rolls over.
So is that something that you would look to change then? Is basically people are going to put money away for their 401k, and encouraging them to do the same for their health.
That, and we have plans to work with the new administration. President Trump has been a champion of fertility. He named himself the father of IVF. He takes it seriously, and I think families in America really need it. And so he's planning to cover IVF, all of it, with insurance. And we'd like to see it taken one step further and also include egg freezing, which is currently an elective.